our prayer might be said to be that we are allowed to look over into the realm of the future, into the prophetic realm, as an answer to our prayer, even more so than what would immediately meet the need of our present circumstance. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2, a Torah portion of Et Canaan. Let's finish up chapter number 3. Now, Yah has said to Moshe, you may not go into the land. We find this in verse 26. But Yahweh was enraged with me for your sake and would not listen to me. And Yahweh said to me, enough of that. Speak no more to me about this matter. Now, a key phrase here is that Moshe says, Yah was enraged with me for your sake. What does that mean? Two things. One is that Yah is saying, I'm angry that you did not demonstrate the validity of my command before the people. Therefore, the people may have the idea that without you being punished, there's no accountability here. Moshe has been the instrument to demonstrate Yah's mighty power to the nation of Mitzrayim, to bring about phenomenal physical realm occurrences such as the splitting of the sea and the opening of the earth to swallow adversaries. The spiritual realm has been revealed in the pillar of cloud and fire on a daily basis, as has water from the rock and manna on the ground. They have heard the very audible voice of the Creator with their own ears. Moshe has been instrumental in all of these events taking place and more. If he gets by with failing to follow through on the command of Yah, when others have been punished for doing the exact same thing, then it can be said that Yah is playing favorites here. In fact, because Moshe has been so instrumental, more is expected of him. He's heard Yah's voice on multiple occasions. He has all but seen the very face of the Creator, at times only separated by a thin veil of smoke or of a cloud. He has been offered more than any human being has had offered to him, perhaps since the Garden of Eden. He has to be held to an account. And so for your benefit, for your sake, he says, I am being held accountable. And even though he's pleaded with Yah, Yah has said no. However, Yah says to him in verse 27, go to the top of Pisgah, lift up your eyes westward and northward and southward and eastward, and look with your eyes, for you do not pass over this land. Now, Moshe is allowed to see. The word here is ra'ah. It is the same word that is used in Bereshit or Genesis chapter 13 and verse 14, where Abraham was allowed to see. What was it that Abraham was looking at? Well, if you look in the book of Hebrews chapter number 11, verse 8 through 10, we find this. By belief, Abraham obeyed when he was called to go out to the place where he was about to receive as an inheritance. And he went out not knowing where he was going, but by belief he sojourned in the land of promise as a stranger, dwelling in tents with Yitzhak and Yaakov, the heirs with him of the same promise, for he was looking for the city with foundations, whose builder and maker is Elohim. He was looking for his inheritance. And he was looking for a promised city. Now, he was living in tents, but when the city comes, he lives in a home. At least that's my understanding, my personal analysis. No longer wandering from one spot to the other, living as if he is not an owner of the land, but a sojourner in the land, someone merely passing through. So therefore, I'll just pitch a tent and then I'll go on my way. I'm not here to take any long-term benefit from the land. But Yah says there's a city who's coming that I have laid the foundations for. So he's talking about the kingdom, and he's talking about the Olam Haba, the world that is yet to come. And he's looking for it. And I believe that Yah opened his eyes and allowed him to see the reality of it. Now, in the Hebrew, Moshe's request reads like this, and I'll try not to butcher this too badly. Arbara na'a va'a ra'a aleph tav ha'eretz hatova ashar be'eber Yarden hayar hatov hazah Lebanon. What does that mean? Literally put together, it means, may I please cross and then see the land of goodness that is over the Yarden, the good mountain, and the Lebanon. Now, the sages say that there is more to this than what meets the eye. May I see the land of goodness, the land of the future, the land that is yet to come, that is over the Yarden, that is on the other side of revelation, that is with revelation knowledge, with prophetic vision. May I see the good mountain. Which good mountain are we talking about? The sages say it's Mount Moriah. And the Lebanon. That is those that are purified and made white. Now, according to the sages of Israel, the teaching is that this good mountain is none other than Jerusalem, Yerushalayim, and that Lebanon is derived from the Hebrew word Levan, which means white, referring to the purifying, whitening power of the Holy Temple service, or perhaps those that will attend to that service dressed in white. In other words, according to the sages, and I don't necessarily disagree with this at all, I think it's plausible thought that Moshe was allowed to go up and not only see the physical landscape and to see the topography of the land, but also that he would be allowed to peer into the future and see those things that are yet to come. I'm going to go out on a wild limb here. Take this for whatever thought that you would like. I've always had issue at the transfiguration of Yeshua, get that right, where he stands talking to Eliyahu and to Moshe. Now, I know that he is the Elohim of the living and the dead, but Eliyahu and Moshe are not alive. At least in their bodies, they're not alive. How does this happen? Knowing that in the spirit realm, that time is not calculated the same as is in the physical realm. Could it be? Just could it be? That when Moshe was standing on top of Pisgah, that he was allowed to see into the prophetic realm, and it was at that moment that he stepped out on top of the mountain in the spirit with Yeshua. Eliyahu, likewise, being caught up in a whirlwind when he was separated by a chariot and horses of fire, and he was caught up in the spirit, was it at that moment that he made his appearance. Now, these two historical events with Moshe and Eliyahu occurred at two different times, but in the spirit realm, maybe they converged at the same time that Yeshua stepped over into the spirit and was transfigured, transformed. He stepped over in the physical realm, out of the physical realm into the spiritual realm at the same time. Wild theory, I get it. Just a thought. Just a thought. Such is the power of prayer. Moshe was told, no, you can't go over because it's more important that Yehoshua be raised up and take this people over than for you to do so. The people need fresh leadership. Moshe, who represents the Torah and the giving of the Torah, does not take us over, but it is the coming of the one that the Torah points to, Yehoshua, Yeshua ben Elohim, who takes us into the land. Will he do so by taking us over physically, or will we be caught up in the spirit and taken in. Wild, wonderful things to think about. We'll think on this until tomorrow. Shalom.